Reversing narcissistic abuse. Don't just heal narcissistic abuse trauma, reverse the devaluation programming. You have value simply because you exist. More info at reversenarcabuse.com. Welcome. This video, I'm going to tell you why I love getting haters' comments on this channel. And the reason is, in a nutshell, because haters really show what I'm trying to say. Instead of me talking extemporaneously about here's what goes on inside the mind of the narcissist, they show me. And it's just much more plain and out there. They think they're doing the opposite. They think they're devaluing me, that they're out arguing me, that they're shutting me down, that they're, humiliating me, or whatever it is that they think they're doing, but they're doing the exact opposite. They are showing me exactly what I'm talking about, and it gives me an object lesson to work from. So I love when I get haters commenting. So just to let you know, again, this channel is going to start moving in a different direction. We're going to start working more towards reversing narcissistic abuse trauma in general. Of course, the most intense narcissistic abuse trauma are those that, have been abused by romantic partners, either borderlines or narcissists, or, somebody who has a cluster B personality disorder. But I'm also going to start moving towards educating you on what goes on underneath, because the truth is every single human being on this planet has been narcissistically programmed, has been programmed to devalue themselves. The difference between the average person and their level of self-devaluation and the person who grew up in a narcissistic household there's going to be a big difference, but it's the exact same devaluation process. We'll talk about that more in other videos. If you want to learn more, go to reversenarcabuse.com. You can also get started with the quantum shifting program, which you can find at thunderwizard.com. The first one is free. Go check it out. All right, so why do I love haters? Again, because it makes it so much easier. So I want to respond to somebody's comment here. Let's see, this person says, I'm really glad you are posting stuff again. You have educated me so much and were able to explain things that were my exact situation. I'm happy to hear that. Goes on to say, I don't think you should get too caught up on your haters' opinions. I don't want you to get burnt out on what some haters of yours might think. It is useless. You keep doing you. You have great info. Thank you. So he was responding to my video. My borderline viewer accuses me of stereotyping all BPDs, stigmatizes versus whatever I said. So I don't have a problem. I'm not offended in the slightest by my haters on this channel. Not in the slightest. So I'm going to tell you something. Your comment gives me an idea of the kind of viewer you are. So I'm going to take a guess. This is an experiment. I could be wrong. And if I am wrong, you are absolutely free to come back on and prove me that I'm wrong. But I have an idea of what kind of a viewer you are. So I'm going to go through the different kinds of people who view this channel. So this channel was originally dedicated towards victims of narcissistic abuse, specifically those who were in relationships with people who suffered from borderline personality disorder. And the whole point of this channel, because it used to be called The One Thing That Cures BPD and NPD Abuse. The whole point of this channel was to get you to get cured. So if you haven't watched it, go on my channel and search for it. If you don't know how to search within somebody's channel, Google it. Google how to search somebody's YouTube channel on iPhone, on iPad, on Android, on MacBook, or whatever it is. And once you learn how to do that, search for the video called The One Thing That Heals. Just type that in. There's a video that will pop up. The One Thing That Heals BPD and NPD Abuse. On that video, I tell you exactly what to do to completely heal yourself of the narcissistic trauma of the romantic relationship. Now, I don't claim to cure you of your whatever other issues you have, or whatever other stuff that went on in childhood. But in terms of the romantic relationship, I can tell you exactly how to be 100% cured, to the point where you will never need to watch this channel again. And that was my goal. My goal was that you would never need to watch the channel again. So I can tell by somebody's comment whether or not they have followed my advice. So there are people who came onto this channel who were victims of borderline abuse within relationships. They heard enough of the message to realize that it was hopeless, and that they had been deeply, chronically damaged, and that damage is not going to go away on its own. And they followed my advice, stopped watching the channel because they didn't need to anymore, which was my hope. The other kind, the next kind of person that watches my channel is the person who gets off, who has been narcissistically abused by borderlines in romantic relationships. They've been deeply damaged. They have been chronically damaged, and they are still in the damage. They have not healed. And the reason they haven't healed is because they didn't take my advice. Now, they see themselves as different, even though I make it very clear that you will not heal if you don't take my advice. Even if you watch all of my videos and you learn and you listen to all of my brilliant psychoanalysis of both the abuser and the codependent, even if you listen to all of that, that won't heal you. But you don't listen to me when I tell you that. You get off on it like porn. And so you keep watching the channel, and you want me to keep making more videos. I can tell who you are instantly. Sometimes it's a little bit hard, because sometimes people get kind of caught in the middle. But people who follow my advice to the letter, they never have to come back and watch this channel again. So you either took my advice and healed, or you were abused and you didn't take my advice, but you want me to keep making videos. You want me to keep analyzing and psychoanalyzing the abuser. The third kind of viewer is the borderline. Now, I didn't make this channel for borderlines, and it was never my intention for it to be about borderlines. But there are some borderlines who come and they benefit from this channel because they want to heal. I assume they're in therapy. By the way, borderlines watching this, here's my recommendation based on my observations. DBT therapy. Regular DBT therapy with a DBT therapist. Get the workbook, the DBT workbook, and do the exercises on a daily basis in the workbook. And then go to regular DBT group therapy. My observation is that people who do that have the ability to be in relationships and have good relationships. That's what I've seen. Borderlines who don't do that, in my observation, don't heal. And they cannot, they have either very difficult time or they're incapable of preventing themselves from acting out on their impulses, and they will usually destroy relationships. Now, that's not a hard and fast rule, but that's my recommendation. So there are borderlines who come and watch the channel because they want to learn. There are borderlines who come, I don't know why they watch it. I don't think that they're doing what I just recommended, because based on the way they interact with me, they don't seem to be involved in any real, life-changing recovery. They tolerate me and they like listening to, I don't know what it is. And they send kind of snippy little weird stuff every now and then, but it's not so abusive that I need to block them. And then there are the ones that are abusive and I have to block them. But my favorite are the ones that are just swooping by. My video came up on their YouTube search, and they're going to come and set the record straight. And they're going to tell us exactly why I don't know what I'm talking about, and I'm overgeneralizing and I'm stigmatizing, and then they'll probably attack me either outright or passive aggressively or whatever. And the reason why I love that is because it's an object lesson. And the whole point of it is to show those of you who are in relationships with people who are untreated that this is what's going to happen to you. They are going to tear you to pieces. They are deeply wounded people who want love just like everybody else. They deserve and want love like everybody else, but they have a defense mechanism that they can't control. And the point is that you as the partner cannot help them. They will come after you, they will hurt you, and it will absolutely gut you and destroy you. And then the whole point of that, if you come to that awareness, is to follow my advice and to heal. So I have an opinion about who this person is. Person says, I don't know if I read it, let me read it to you. This person says, I'm really glad you're posting stuff again. You've educated me so much and were able to explain things that were my exact situation. I don't think you should get too caught up in your haters' opinions. I don't want you to get burnt out on what some haters of yours might think. It is useless. You keep doing you. You have great info. Thank you. Now, what's interesting is that you didn't say that you did the one thing. Because if you did, almost certainly you would have said, I did the one thing and I feel so much better, I'm cured, thank you. You didn't say that. It also is suspicious to me because you're glad that I'm posting stuff again, which means that you've been getting off on me, talking about psychoanalyzing, because you say you have educated me so much and were able to explain things that were my exact situation. Thank you for saying that. That is my goal. But my goal isn't just to educate you, because educating you is meaningless. All of the brilliant psychoanalysis, which again, I'm going to agree with a lot of people. I do it as well, if not better, than most therapists. I'm able to get in there and really show you what's going on underneath the surface far better than the majority of psychologists and psychiatrists out there. But that is meaningless. It will do nothing to cure you. The only thing that is supposed to come from my brilliant analysis is that you become aware that you can't heal from this abuse unless you do the one thing. However, as I said, there are people out there that don't follow my advice and they are addicted to these kinds of channels. It's like porn to them. I think this is one of those. My ability to explain things and give you the feeling that I understand your exact situation is meaningless. Also, that experience that you have that I'm explaining your exact situation doesn't mean anything either, because all I'm doing is I'm describing a typical dynamic that goes on in every single abusive, narcissistic, and in this case, borderline relationship. It feels to you like I'm talking about you, but that is your narcissism. Because what ends up happening when you're an abuse victim is that your narcissism is stimulated. So when people say things like, oh my God, you totally get me. Oh my God, it's like you've been in my exact situation. Oh my God. And people will do things like, can I have your number? I'd love to talk to you and I'd like to tell you more about what was going on with me because you're the only one that really understands. And the truth is that's just not true. I just happen to know the important dynamics. The dynamics are the same. The details are different. But when somebody accurately describes the dynamics of the abuse, you feel as though I've singled you out and told you, which again shows the narcissistic, grandiose need of the codependent, which is to be seen and heard. I haven't seen and heard you. I don't even know who you are, but I know what the dynamic is. So this tells me that you haven't healed either because you've made it about you. Borderline does that. You're doing that. Now, this tells me that you haven't done the one thing and worked the 12 steps on your codependence because you get codependent. You say, I don't think you should get too caught up in your haters' opinions. I don't. I don't get caught up in it. I enjoy it. You say, I don't want you to get burnt out on what some haters of yours might think. Where did you get that feeling? I'm not burnt out on it. I stopped uploading to this channel for one reason. People weren't following my advice. It wasn't because I was getting haters. People weren't following my advice, and they were coming on and treating it like porn, which I think this person does. They were coming on and they were getting off on me just analyzing the narcissist or the borderline. They weren't taking my advice on how to heal. And I stopped for that reason. And also because I'd said everything that could be said about the subject. If I kept talking about it, I'd just be repeating myself. So, but you want to protect me from getting hurt, which is a codependent thing. That's not your problem, that's my problem. And you don't want me to get burnt out, which means you don't want me to stop. You said you're glad I'm back. So again, you're hooked on the porn of me analyzing the abuser and not telling me about how you did the work and you've healed yourself. So just like I'm not getting bent out of shape because, you're wanting to, it sounds like you're wanting to utilize me. It's a narcissistic thing. You want me to give you supply. You want me to keep talking about them. You want me to keep making videos about them. That's your need to be filled with your narcissistic supply, which is for me to, analyze the borderline or the narcissist. And you don't want me to stop providing you with that free porn. So telling me not to this is what's important to know about codependence. When codependents fix you, it's not coming from an honest desire to help you. It's not coming from a place of true, unconditional empathy, which is being able to actually see what's going on. It's coming from you are making them uncomfortable. So in this case, the thought of me getting too upset means that I'll stop making videos and I won't give this person the porn they're looking for. So them coming and saying, I don't want you to get too caught up, I don't want you to get hurt, has nothing to do with helping me. It is trying to keep me from making them uncomfortable. So in another situation, when codependents want to stop you because you're hurt or you're angry, I'll give you an example. When my fiance passed away, of course, I was in a lot of pain, and we were at the beach, and we were having this, impromptu sort of memorial for her. And I started talking about it. Of course, I teared up. And this woman jumped in and she said, don't get upset. Don't get sad. Look, we're at the beach. She wouldn't want you to get upset. And this was just somebody who was so codependent that she couldn't tolerate her own pain. So she has to shut people down when they're in pain. But being the codependent, she makes it sound like, I want you to be happy. But she only wants me to be happy because she doesn't want to be in pain. This person doesn't want me to be in pain because they don't want me to stop giving you the porn. Now, at any point in time, you can tell me that if you want to be my hater and get mad at me, I will listen to you if you can convince me that you have done the one thing I've told people to do to heal. But I don't think you did, because you're acting like a codependent, trying to get me out of the feelings you think I'm having, which I'm not having, of getting too caught up in my haters' opinions and being upset by that. And the fear that I'm going to get burnt out and stop giving you your supply. And none of those things are true. I love picking apart haters' comments. This isn't a hater comment, but again, you don't get me. And you don't get this channel. And what you're showing us is what goes on in the mind of somebody who doesn't follow my instructions. You're wrapped up in your codependence and you don't understand how narcissistic it is. You want me to provide you with what you need. And you're not listening to what I'm saying. If you want to heal, there's a way to heal. And if you really want for us to be compatriots, if you really want us to be simpatico, follow my instructions. Come on here and say, I did the one thing. I'm completely healed. Thank you so much. I don't even need this channel anymore. Then you're going to get the response from me that you want. This one, I'm glad you're back. I'm glad you're giving me my fix. Don't get upset. Don't let them get upset. Don't let them stop you from giving me my fix. Don't let the haters get you. None of that is happening. I love the haters for that reason. I'm glad I have great info, but I'm not interested in having great info. I'm interested in providing you with the tools to be healed. And I don't think you've taken advantage of them. Perhaps I could be wrong and I don't think I am, but perhaps I'm wrong and you don't know what the one thing is which will completely cure you. That can be found on, as I said, the channel, the video, the one thing, and it can be found on my book, How I Survived My Borderline Girlfriend. You can go look for that on Amazon, Kindle, and Audible. Now, for those of you who want to heal deeply, that solution is still there. The one thing is still the main thing that gets you back up to zero, where you're able to then go deeper. So I recommend that everybody do that. Those of you who are borderlines, I recommend that you do the DBT therapy. I recommend it. Then, if you want to go even deeper in your healing of narcissistic abuse trauma, go here to reversenarcabuse.com. Watch the introductory videos there, and then you can go to thunderwizard.com and begin the quantum shifting course. I've uploaded 3 of those videos. The first one is free. Go check it out. So that's it, my friends. Thank you so much. This person, I'm not going to mention your name. You know who you are. If you're watching this and you got your feelings hurt, I understand. Nothing personal. But I'm going to hold you to the same standards I hold the haters to. If you don't understand what this channel is about, if you are narcissistically responding to the content, and by the way, codependents have narcissism. They're not narcissists with a personality disorder, but they are operating from their narcissism. If you're operating from that and I can tell you haven't followed my advice, I'm going to point it out. I'm going to hold you to the same standards. That's it, my friends. I love you all very much. Please remember that the only thing that you need to do in order to be lovable is to exist. You don't have to be anything or do anything to have worth and value. All you have to do is exist. Let's explore that together. And my hope is we can completely change the world. That's what I'm not attached to that idea, but that's where I'm going, helping the whole world shift to a place where everybody operates from self-love, because the root core of narcissistic, not only abuse, but the disease, personality disorders, the root cause is self-hatred. And so when you can find an actual way to cure yourself of the internal self-hatred programming, then you can know what it is to truly love and be loved. And that is my hope for everybody. So we'll keep going on in that direction. So thank you so much for showing up. I love you all and I appreciate you, and I'm so glad you're here. And please take very good care of yourselves. I'll see you all very soon.